know that feeling when a relationship ends and it hurts so much more than the happiness you felt when it started? That's not just you being dramatic. It's your brain treating love exactly like an investment portfolio. And it's playing by the same brutal rules that keep investors trapped in losing stocks. Here's what's actually happening. When you lose money in the market, the pain hits about twice as hard as the pleasure of making the same amount. Your brain's wired that way. And in love, same deal. Gaining a partner gives you joy, sure, but losing them? That pain is exponentially worse. Every date night, every vulnerable conversation, every shared dream. Your brain is quietly logging these as investments. And just like a trader who can't bring himself to sell at a loss, you start thinking, if I just hold on a little longer, maybe it'll turn around. But here's the thing, that relationship you're holding on to, it's giving you something more valuable than happiness. It's giving you certainty. A stable relationship is like a safe asset allocation. You know what to expect. You know where you stand. And when that stability shakes, it's not just heartbreak. It's like your entire portfolio is crashing. Suddenly you are facing the unknown. You have to redistribute your resources, reassess your worth, start over. The psychological cost of that is massive, so your brain does everything it can to avoid it. And there's another layer. Losing in love doesn't just mean your assets shrunk. It means you failed. You chose wrong. You weren't enough. That hits your sense of self-value. And that's where the real pain multiplies. Because in both investing and love, your brain follows one iron rule. Uncertainty about the future is scarier than dissatisfaction in the present. So you'd rather keep holding a broken relationship than realize the loss and feel that emotional crash. That's loss aversion. So what do you actually do about it? Start by thinking like an investor who's learned to beat their own biases. First, ignore the sunk cost. Investors who beat loss aversion do one thing ruthlessly well. They separate what they've already spent from what the investment is worth now. Ask yourself this. If you met this person today, would you still choose them? If this relationship were a stock, would you buy it based on its current performance, not its history? If the answer is no, you're not investing in the future. You're just afraid of admitting the past didn't work out. Second, get specific about what you're actually afraid of losing. Most of the time, it's not the person. It's the routine, the comfort, the identity of being someone's partner, the future you'd imagined. Once you break down what you're really holding onto, you realize a lot of it can be rebuilt, replaced, or honestly, wasn't that valuable to begin with. Third, diversify your life. The worst loss aversion happens when you're all in on one asset. If your entire sense of self-worth is tied to one relationship, of course losing it feels like annihilation. But if you've got friendships, goals, hobbies, and financial independence, your own sense of direction, then a breakup isn't total collapse. It's just one part of a bigger portfolio taking a hit. Fourth, set boundaries before things get desperate. Smart investors set stop losses before they buy. You can do the same. Decide in advance what behaviors or patterns are non-negotiable. Chronic disrespect, refusal to communicate, fundamental misalignment on the future. When you have clear lines, loss aversion doesn't spiral out of control, because you are not making decisions in panic mode. Fifth, reframe failure as data. Investors don't see every loss as proof they're bad at investing. They see it as information. What did I learn? What would I do differently? What do I actually need in a relationship? When you shifted from I failed to I learned, the emotional loss shrinks dramatically. And finally, accept this. Loss aversion doesn't disappear. Even the best investors feel it. The goal isn't to stop being afraid of loss. It's to stop letting that fear control your decisions. Mature love isn't about never being afraid of losing someone. It's about knowing that if you do, you'll survive, rebuild, and maybe even come out stronger. Because here's the truth. The version of you that's terrified of being alone, that's the version that's easiest to trap in a bad relationship. But the version that knows they'll be okay either way, that version has freedom, clarity, and honestly, that version is a lot more attractive. both to others and to yourself.